ministers, deputy ministers, ambassadors, special envoys, Jewish leaders, Chairman of Yad Vashem, Dani Dayan, Idit and Kobi Ohel, Alon's parents, Tal Shoham, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Yaron Lishinsky and Sarah Lynn Milgrim, two of our embassy staff in Washington, D.C., were murdered in an anti-Semitic terrorist attack. This young couple, about to be engaged, was added to the longest list in the world, the list of victims of anti-Semitism. The founders of Zionism believed that the Jewish state in the land of Israel would solve the problem of anti-Semitism. It didn't happen. The new anti-Semitism targets the state of Israel. IHRA's examples of anti-Semitism explicitly includes this, and I quote, denying the Jewish people the right for self-determination by claiming the existence of the state of Israel is a racist endeavor, and also applying double standards by requiring of it a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation. We saw this when the ICC first decided to issue arrest warrants against the elected leaders of a democratic country, our Prime Minister, that will soon join us, and our former Defense Minister. With a democratic country with a strong commitment to the rule of law and an independent judiciary, Israel. They trampled this so-called court. They trampled all the relevant principles of international law, jurisdiction and complementarity. Double standards, indeed. Israel is a country with an open threat of elimination and attempts to eliminate it. This is barely mentioned in the discourse about the current war. We appear twice on the flag of the Houthis of Yemen. Death to Israel, alongside curse be upon the Jews. On the flag. The Hamas Charter speaks about raising the banner of Allah on every inch of Palestine. It defines all the land as Islamic Waqf, on which an Islamic state should be formed. The presence of Jews in the land of Israel, the ancient homeland of the Jewish people, is described as an even and illegitimate invasion. I quote, Israel, with its Jewishness and Jewish population, challenges Islam and Muslims. Finishing the conflict with Zionism is described there as an act of treason. The Hamas Charter is an anti-Semitic document. It dehumanizes the Jewish people. It presents them as responsible for nearly every bad event in history, for almost every war, including the French Revolution, the Communist Revolution, and the First and the Second World Wars. According to their charter, no war in the world is waged without the involvement of Jews. Article 7 contains the quote about Judgment Day, in which trees and stones will say, Muslim, servant of Allah, there is a Jew behind me, come and kill him. Everything is in the charter. It is open. You can read it in the internet. The leader of Iran, Khamenei, speaks and tweets open calls for the elimination of Israel, and I quote only from latest tweets. We will remove our enemies from the region. The disappearance of the Zionist entity from the face of the earth. The Zionist criminal gang must be totally eliminated from Palestine. Which countries, I ask you, drew the necessary conclusions from these calls? Almost no one. And with this reality, what is the meaning? I just spoke about it with the rabbi of UK. What is the meaning of actions or calls by politicians or countries to impose an arms embargo on Israel when everyone around wants to eliminate it? If this initiative will, God forbid, be successful, Israel will simply be eliminated. There will be another Holocaust, this time on the soil of the land of Israel. This is actually a way to strip the Jewish people of their means to defend themselves, means that they desperately lacked throughout their long exile and during the Holocaust. In a paradoxical way, since October 7th, the biggest massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, anti-Semitism around the world has dramatically increased. It is flowing from fringes into the mainstream. It is shameless. The spread of the discourse of hate towards Jews and Israel is almost everywhere in the world, in the digital and physical spaces alike. A major mobilization is required now. We need countries, civil society, and more in order to create an effective battle against anti-Semitism on all fronts. Unfortunately, we are far from that. But this conference in Jerusalem today is an expression of the commitment to fight against anti-Semitism. Therefore, I want to thank the representatives, you, that came from IRA countries. Now, 80 years since the end of World War II and the Holocaust, IRA's role in safeguarding and passing on the stories and lessons of the Holocaust to future generations is more than ever critical, because the last survivor among us are passing away. The program of this conference reflects engagement with important issues: anti-Semitism on social media and on the streets, anti-Semitism on campuses, and the global coalition against anti-Semitism. I thank the ministers that will participate tomorrow in the discussions and also the experts attending the conference. I thank the ministers, representatives of countries and representatives of Jewish communities from IRA countries that came to this important conference. The fight against anti-Semitism and the struggle for Holocaust remembrance is part of a deep commitment, not only to remember the past, but also to create a better future for all of us in this world. Thank you so much for coming.